What blocks many people from entering their handstand is a negative arm angle that they're not noticing, perhaps. If my arm angle is negative and I'm trying to kick up on top of that foundation, that angle is pushing me back, it's blocking me. So you might be a beginner who's struggling to learn to kick up to a handstand, or you might be more intermediate, working on your tuck ups, straddle ups, or pike ups. But whatever your level, whatever entry you're working on, this concept is going to help. If your arm angle is negative, and we're going to define that by shoulders being this direction over the root of your hand or even south of that, to neutral. So let's say this whole space right here means a negative arm angle. And if I will let my shoulders planche forward in this space here, now we're talking a positive arm angle. So all the space to the front is typically called planche. Any degree of leaning forward is called planching. And it doesn't mean necessarily that your feet are off the ground. It's just a question of alignment in the handstand, if your shoulders are planched or not. And what blocks many people from entering their handstand is a negative arm angle that they're not noticing, perhaps. If my arm angle is negative and I'm trying to kick up on top of that foundation, that angle is pushing me back, it's blocking me, just like the horses in Braveheart. So basically you have to spend so much excess energy, you have to come with a lot of acceleration to sort of pull the shoulders back up on top if you're keeping that angle. And it's not only a matter of starting like that, but it's also a matter of maybe starting neutral, and then as you kick up, see that movement of the shoulders to the back. I have coached, I think, over 100 people just pointing this out, that as you swing your leg, especially in the early kicking phase, it pulls you this way towards your front. So it's as you're kicking up, you're probably not noticing that negative arm angle sneak in, and it's taking your energy away from your hands. You want to get up on top of your hands. And just to really see the point, I have this ramp right here. That's why the ramp is here. Basically, now the angle of the ramp is positive forward. So in this case, it's going to be easy to get the ball to hit the wall. It's going to be easy to get that ball up on top of the ramp. Oh! Oh! It's a whole other matter to get it up. This is the first time I got the ball up. I was practicing for a long time before I made this video. Anyway, so that's a positive angle. It's very easy, just given enough force, the ball is going to fly over the ramp. How about if we change it to a neutral angle? Now the ramp is vertical, and it's still going to be fairly easy to get the ball to fly up. It's going to be very hard to get the ball up on top now, and going to be completely impossible. But in a handstand, you can easily manage with just a neutral angle to kick on top. It can be hard to arrive there, but it's a matter of momentum, and you can get there. Although I will recommend even keeping a positive shoulder angle for most of the time in your entry, and only in the very end coming back to neutral. If you have a negative arm angle, this is the effect of it. The ramp will be pointing back and away from where the ball is going, and now it's going to be really impossible. See how the ball flies back. This is the exact same idea why your handstand is always undershooting if you have a lot of fear in your system. So here are my 3 most important drills to fix this issue and gain more awareness and more strength to hold a positive arm angle while you're doing your entries. First and foremost, just stepping around with your shoulders on top. I want you just to do leans into the positive angle space, into the planche, and push back. The key detail is to push from your arms into the floor and not use my hip flexors to pull me back from here. So you have to almost relax your legs and push yourself back. And you have to feel that difference because it looks exactly the same. I would recommend 2 sets of 5 for warm-up, or maybe 3 sets of 6 to 8 if you're more in a strength and conditioning workout. Remember to turn your hands out for this drill. There's no reason to really stress your wrists a lot here with fingers pointing forward. So if you turn them out just a little bit, it's going to be more comfortable to lean into your planche. The second key drill keeps you in that challenging planche position for the duration of the set. So I'm going to just, from a kneeling position, set my shoulders and then pop up to standing and pop back down to kneeling. And this is going to be with the intention to float, and I'm constantly driving my hands straight down into the floor and trying to keep my upper back a bit rounded. But the main thing is my shoulder angle does not change. So you gotta film yourself and see if this is you, that when you descend especially, your shoulders move a lot. Also here, watch my shoulders, how they're just all over the place right now. I want you to stay tight with your visual field pretty much the same, and transition here between kneeling and standing without moving your shoulders at all. If your toes or feet hurt doing this drill, please tuck under your toes and work from kneeling to standing, just separating your feet when you stand and feet together for the kneeling. Same recommendation if you're warming up, do 2 sets of 5. If you're strength and conditioning for your handstands and you don't need to do technique afterwards, do 3 sets of 6 to 8. And finally, third drill, let's take it into the handstand. So this is all about awareness. So relative to your usual habit of, for example, kicking and being pulled this way, all we want to do is create the smallest change that you can feel. That's all we want. We don't want you to suddenly stay in a huge planche and turn up your fear, risk falling on your face or anything. We just want you to begin relative to your starting position, to start 5, 10, 20% more forward. And as you kick, delay the time before you push from the arms. So you have to be comfortable staying for a moment and then push your arms back to neutral. Or if you're more neutral, it's just about staying there, jumping on top and staying there. But often the shoulders are going to move relatively from a positive angle towards a negative angle. So we're going to try and start more positive. And as we arrive, we hit our neutral position. This way of entering with a slightly more positive arm angle is way more consistent than kicking up on vertical arms, or even from negative arms where your arms sort of arrive at that point as you swing up. A lot of people have a very hard time controlling this. You can definitely learn it, but it's just really challenging. And if you want to hit 9 out of 10 of your entries, I do recommend starting here, kicking up, and it's sort of like you press yourself into position, and you do have a lot of options to rebalance as you're coming up into the handstand. I promised one time that I would try and hit 100 out of 100 scissor kick-ups, and I'm going to use this technique. So far I've only done 20 in a row, and that already did quite a burn on my shoulder, so 100 in a row would be some kind of marathon for me. But that's the technique I would go for if I wanted to hit 100 out of 100 handstands, entry to handstand right there. So try these drills out, become aware if you're doing like Braveheart, that you're just blocking your handstand from happening. And I hope this concept of arm angle really upgrades your way of viewing and seeing your handstand. And I do recommend you film yourself from the side so you can get this a little bit more visually on your own body. And please let me know, write in the comments or write me some other way on Instagram, hunter.physio. And I'd really love to hear from you. And I hope your handstand will progress quickly, slowly, it doesn't matter, but I hope you have fun with it. And let's continue this journey together.